Hi boys and girls. Today I'm going to show you how to interpret and evaluate numerical expressions, including the language of scaling and fraction division. Let's begin. This problem reads, twice the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2. Write word form expressions numerically. So twice, it says twice. So twice, I know, means 2, or 2 times. Now this says the sum. What does the word sum mean? Think about that. What does the word sum mean? Well, I know the word sum means add, the answer to an addition problem. So we need to add two numbers. So we need to add 3/5 and 1 1/2. Now they want twice the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2. So we have to put parentheses around our 3/5 and our 1 1/2 because we want that first, and then we're going to get twice that or double that. So this is the word form, from word form to numerical. Half the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2. Well, half means I split it in 1/2, or half of means I'm multiplying by 1/2 or dividing by 2, okay? Because those are the same thing. So again, sum means what? It means the answer to an addition problem. So I've got to add 3/5 and 1 1/2. And I'm going to put that in parentheses because I want the sum of those two, and then I want half of that answer. So it's either going to be this up here, or it's going to be the 3/5 plus 1 1/2, the sum of those, divided by 2. So either of these expressions are correct because 1/2 is equivalent. Multiplying a number by 1/2 is the same thing as dividing that number by 2. So either of these expressions are correct. The difference between 3/4 and 1/2 divided by 3. I want you to write this expression numerically and bring this in tomorrow. So you can pause your video now and I'll show you the rest of the lesson, or you can go ahead and wait until the end to solve this problem. Either way, bring this problem in and we will discuss it tomorrow. Now the next couple problems we're going to evaluate, and evaluate just means to solve. So we're looking at 2/5 times, in parentheses, 1/2 minus 4/10. Well, because this is in parentheses, we have to do it first. We always have to follow our order of operations. So we have to do 1/2 minus 4/10. Well, that looks odd. I can't subtract a decimal from a fraction. So I either need to make them both fractions or make them both decimals. So I'm just going to leave 1/2, and I'm going to subtract 4/10 from it. So now I need to find equivalent fractions. So I need to multiply by 5/5 to get 5/10. And now I can take away 4/10. 5/10 minus 4/10 is 1/10. That's the answer to what was within the parentheses. Now I need to do 2/5 of that. So 2/5 times 1/10. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 10 is 50. So I have 2/50, and I can simplify by dividing by 2/2, and my answer is 1/25. This problem also tells us to evaluate. Whatever is in parentheses I have to do first because I have to follow my order of operations. Now, this time, if I wanted to do decimals, change them both to decimals, I could absolutely do that. So let's say 3/4, let's change it to a decimal. I know this 4 has to become a 10, 100, or 1,000, and I know that 4 can't become 10, but I can multiply 4 times 25 to get 100, and 3 times 25 is 75. So 3/4 is equivalent to 75 hundredths. I have to add that to 1 25 hundredths. That's what would be in parentheses. So 1 25 hundredths. Line up my decimals. 5 plus 5 is 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. My answer is 2. So in parentheses is 2. Now I need to divide that by 1/3. Now if I had 2 wholes and I wanted to divide it by 1/3, here's 1 whole and here's 2 wholes, and I want to divide it by 1/3, my answer would be 6. Or you'd have to find the reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3 over 1, and 2 times 3 over 1 is equal to 6. This problem is 2 divided by 1/5 and then multiply by 3/10. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to solve this problem, evaluate this problem, and then bring this in tomorrow. Remember, what's in parentheses is done first, then you are going to multiply by what's out of parentheses after. Thanks for watching. Bring in both of these problems completed.